Hello, Amy.
Hello, Joelle, and hello to your audience here. We are back to continue our conversation. You, Joelle, Clarette, are making a series of beautiful videos. Why are you making these videos? What is
Yes,
what are
this
you
is a
doing?
good question. So I've been wanting to do these videos for years, but I believe that everything has a perfect timing. And I feel like right now it's absolutely timely to talk about all these things. Today we're going to talk about birth and the importance of supporting the being coming to the world, the soul coming into incarnation in this planet. And why is it so important right now? And this morning I had like an insight, beautiful insight. We're going through a very interesting situation.
Mm,
And the message was like, we've been as a human species, as human being, we've been going through the process of being a caterpillar
mm,
for a few hundreds of years. We've been caterpillars. We've been eating, consuming, working, and out there in the material world. And
mhm.
that was the only focus for us. And we've been like, consuming the planet also.
Sure.
And it was just that focus all the time. And the caterpillar, like the greed and all of that. And I want more, and I want more, and I want more, and I want more. And more people on the planet also. There's
Yes.
more and more people on the planet. And there's no time to think, no time to connect. It's busy, 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 busy. And then what happened? The pandemic,
Mm.
the confinement. Everybody went inside,
Cocoon.
in the cocoon.
I love it.
Time to go in the cocoon. Time to stop and go in the cocoon. And in this cocoon where we are right now,
Mm,
where we're going to probably be for a little while longer. This is our time for transformation.
mm.
We need this time. We need this time for transformation, for awakening, to stop so we can see, we can listen, we can awaken, and we can grow, and we can reconnect inward, reconnect with spirit, and take the time to share all, like what we're doing right now, all these conversations,
Yeah.
so that we can prepare for the next era.
Either way,
Yes.
they're both.
And to become butterflies that are creating the new world, a
Mm,
new world where we're going to live in a very different frequency.
mm,
We're going to be like butterflies, because
mm.
that's our essence. Butterflies going looking for the light,
Beautiful.
ethereal, more. So we are we are co-creating the new era with the new world,
Yeah.
and it's us human beings, but it's also the planet.
Mm,
The planet is shifting
mm,
to a new level, to a new frequency, to a new dimension. In order to shift to a new dimension, we need to prepare.
mm.
It's not just happening,
Right.
we need to
Sure.
prepare. And in this new dimension, the beings that are coming into incarnation, the beings that come into the planet
Mm-hmm.
have that frequency. They
Beautiful.
have that frequency. So on one hand, they have that frequency, and it would be nice to us that are welcoming them, and
Yeah.
being blessed by their presence, or
Mhm.
their future presence on the planet.
Mhm.
The least we can do is prepare.
Mhm.
And so any information that could support that, uh, I want to share it. I mean, what I have, I want to share it. It can be, probably other people are looking for that, to know about this. And I was lucky when I was working as a doula to come across some French amazing human beings that have been doing works around pregnancy and birth and birth trauma, but because the idea is that the trauma at birth, when the bigger the trauma, the thicker the veil.
Ah,
We
throughout
disconnect.
our life,
Hmm?
the bigger the veil we have to contend with throughout our life.
So because there's the essence, the truth, and then in order to survive, we create a filter.
Mm.
The screen, the veil is what we put on top of the reality in order to be able to adapt to the external world that is functioning in a certain way. It depends on which culture you are. It depends on where you land. You
But to
know,
have to adapt to the human experience as spiritual beings, adapting to the experience, then that veil becomes necessary for us.
yes, it's like it's
Or so we.
okay. What I know as the truth is not known.
Mhm.
So how can I function and relate to these people that are asleep, that are not conscious, that are not awake? How I can, I mean, and I've seen that. I mean, I've had that experience personally in my life. I can remember things. I'm lucky to remember things from when I was a baby,
Mm.
and how I could hear adults talking about things, and I was like, why are they saying that?
Really?
It's, interpretations.
Yeah.
It's all interpretations of realities, so that are convenient to function in life.
Mhm.
But now we are like, there's a lot of energy coming from the galaxy. There's a lot of, I mean, it's time for us to step into the new era, which is being real. And in a lot of psychology systems, they mainly talk about, they call it the mask, they call it the screen,
Mhm.
they call it different things, the veil.
Mhm.
And basically it's how we create our individuality,
I see.
and meaning the ego, and with this comes the judgment, and this is good and this is bad, and it's
Mhm.
kind of goes into a different story.
Mhm.
um, so the spirit is coming from spirit
Mhm.
incarnating into this world, and the more he is received by conscious people,
Mhm.
and conscious people meaning like, okay, I'm not a Buddha,
Mhm.
but I'm aware, honestly aware, that I have a veil,
Yes.
that I have my personal stories and
Yes.
history and traumas and everything.
Mhm.
And I'm so sorry, but I am willing to learn, willing to understand. I am open. I am ready to
Mhm.
go behind that veil and meet you,
Mhm.
and you be my teacher.
That's beautiful.
And it's such a beautiful experience. I mean, I had that experience with one specific baby,
Uh-huh.
where we didn't talk. We didn't need to talk. She didn't need to cry. We didn't. The communication was in the other level,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see how she was the wisdom,
Mm.
the patience in her,
Mm-hmm.
sending the message and waiting for me to get it and say, "Oh, you got it. Okay, good for you." It's we coming from something so much bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
we had traumas and we created filters and we disconnected. But we are is our birthright. Talking about birth, is our birthright to be who we really are, to go back there.
Yes.
And birth, that's why I call it from pregnancy to ecstasy,
Mm-hmm.
for many reasons, but it's always some sort of ecstasy. Birth is an initiation.
Mm.
And when I hear women telling their stories about, when they chose consciously to do conscious birth, whatever the experience was,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like a ritual of initiation, and you come out of there and you are somewhere else.
Mm.
You are totally somewhere else.
Mm.
So coming back to more concretely, like information wise,
Mhm.
this man, Bernard Monteau,
Yes.
who is French, and he's a osteopath. I'm going to make the story very short, but I want to talk about him because there's nothing about him in English as far as I know. And he's done an amazing work through being an osteopath and taking care of his clients.
Mm-hmm.
He started seeing lapses, physical lapses,
Mm-hmm.
during the session, and he didn't know why or where they were coming from. So he decided just to support those processes
Mm-hmm.
so the person could go deeper,
Mm-hmm.
until he discovered, so the lapses were becoming bigger and the movement were expressing suffering and pains and things and basically trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And he discovered that it was mostly from birth, from
Mm.
the process of birth.
Mm-hmm.
So he really went deep inside that, and it's been probably 30 years doing that. And he was able to slowly understand how the different phases of the birth process were affecting in different aspects the person in life,
Mm-hmm.
and how going back to the trauma and releasing it and going behind that, there was always the same
Mm.
pure love,
Mm.
pure love, pure like love, compassion, uh, pure love,
Mm.
that comes with compassion, understanding.
Forgive.
You may have tortured me, but I love you so much. I mean, it goes behind all of that.
Mm.
So that's what would a birth with no trauma.
Mm.
What you're doing, you're helping the being come to the world and be that unconditional, unconditioned,
Yes. Yes.
feeling unconditioned love. There's
Mhm.
no conditions.
Yes. So you are all about supporting all those involved with the birth, as I understand it, from the mother to the partner to the midwives, empowering the doulas to support them and the being who is incarnating find that pure love.
Not disconnect from the pure love. So for the
That
mother,
connection for those welcoming in the baby, and then not disconnect from the being because the being is pure love. We
Yeah,
all are pure love.
for the being not to need to disconnect from spirit, from who he really is, you know.
Because we're rewiring, it sounds like, the pattern that the perception from the being's point of view, perhaps if things aren't handled in the right way, then they feel it's necessary to disconnect in order
Yes,
to
that,
adapt to the human experience. But with awareness and the right consciousness around it, we can support them in a way where they will not disconnect.
they won't need that because they will be supported. There will be consciousness in their world to a certain level.
Yeah.
And one of the things he points at that are number one priority is sincerity, honesty.
Mm.
Because so I'm going to go through the process of birth,
Please, yeah.
but for the baby, you can say, I love you. And I'm sorry, my love is not perfect, but I humbly, as much as I know about love, I
Yeah.
love you. And I'm sorry, it's imperfect. That honestly is more important, because one of the things that most affect children,
Mm.
babies, children, is lies.
Mm.
When they tell you, oh yes, this is how it is and this is how is that, and they know that it's been a reality that has been manipulated for convenience of the moment, of the situation, of the whatever. So that is the most important thing. I'm not perfect. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm so happy that you're coming. I'm so grateful that you're coming, and I'll do my best.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. It's like, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Give me a
Thank you.
ho'opono. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Honesty in the communication. So how does that? Oh, by the way, I've been surrounding myself
Oh, with the butterfly.
with butterflies, because these are the new beings coming upside down.
Okay.
These
Oh,
are the new beings coming.
I have to leave
So
you.
I have them all over today.
Oh, it's so pretty. I have to show you a necklace that Annie was gifted that has beautiful butterfly. My daughter was gifted. Oh, you'll love it. Speak
I
butterfly.
I feel like this is a great message right now, the butterfly. I've seen so many beautiful butterflies lately,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I feel like it could be the symbol for the new era. That's where we're going right now. We are in the cocoon,
Mhm.
growing our
Wings.
wings,
Yes. Beautiful.
growing our
So
wings.
let's dive
Yes,
in. I want to hear
yes.
the
So how can we be there, support, and share this process? And number one, it's that the 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 experience of the mother and the spirit child is one, is two aspects of the same
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
One is from here, the other one is, but they're going through the same journey.
Mm.
So the first part is the initiation of the process, which is the first signs. Oh my God, this is happening.
Yeah.
And at that point it's normally,
First
I mean,
signs of
the
labor.
idea is that the baby, spirit, child decided, okay, I'm coming now. So he is in a position and he's kind of pushing things, and so things happen, you have signs that, oh my God, this is it. That's
Mhm.
his decision, and it's
Mhm.
very important to acknowledge that
Mhm.
he decided it's now.
Mhm.
And then and let him know, okay, yes, we are ready to. We are ready to, mother is ready to. So what's the best thing to do at this? It's like you have a first phase, and Bernard Monteau suggests that it's time for the couple
Mhm.
to get together and tell him or remind or recall how we met, how we fell in love, and how we decided to have a baby.
Mm.
You know, so there's a lot of stories. Yet you can say, oh well, it was not exactly like that. Blah, blah, blah. We can talk about that part of the theme in another video. But let's say that you fell in love, you met with your love, you fell in love, and you can talk about how you fell in love to the baby. And because that's kind of also how spirit chose to come through these parents,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And we are ready for you.
Mm.
We are ready for you. So what can we do? Okay, we can talk about, we can remember moments, we can remember the level of love. What is it? Falling in love, like recalling that feeling, just remembering the feeling of being in love. It stimulates the hormone of oxytocin so much, like the best way to stimulate, and it joy and opening, and it's does the whole work. And oxytocin is what does the whole process of birth.
Yeah.
So
Great.
it's a great way to initiate the initiation together with baby.
Mhm.
And then you want to be, as you know, in a space that you love.
Mhm.
Maybe you already prepared a room and you have your favorite, like the five senses. Nurture the five senses.
Oh.
Nurture your five senses. If you feel like having some food or something to drink, like something that you really love or crave to have, the textures, your favorite textures, that's what you're going to be touching, your clothing, your whatever you're going to have around, the colors, the
Mhm.
shapes, the sense.
Mhm.
What do you feel like smelling, right? Is it, I mean, it can be so many things. So the five senses, what you see, what you smell, what the touch, what you taste, all the five senses are being stimulated, because that also stimulates the oxytocin.
Mhm.
And that's what we do in Tantra to
Mhm.
stimulate the oxytocin. We use the five senses.
Mhm.
And it is said also that if you stimulate the five senses, you awaken the sixth senses, which is intuition, you're opening. Mainly you're opening. This is about opening yourself for the mother. And so this is the time to create intimacy.
Mhm.
Intimacy, you're going inward. Some women, they just go inward. They go into a meditation, they go inward, they want no lights, no nothing, just go inward.
Mhm.
It's your form of intimacy, whatever is intimacy for you. So is intimacy for you, is intimacy with your partner, is intimacy with the baby coming.
Mhm.
And this part is called, I mean, for me, because I use the elements, it's the water.
Mhm.
And here I have my water people. It's
Mhm.
the water. Water is, Michel Audin says, water is sexuality.
Mm.
And yes, it is intimacy. It's
Mhm.
water is intimacy.
Mhm.
Water connects everything.
Mhm.
Water connects the world of spirit with the world in this planet. All life on this planet comes from water. The womb of the planet is the ocean.
Mhm.
It's water. Everything comes from water. So you can have a music that is a flowy music. You want to, if you like dancing, you want to do like belly dance, flowy dance, you know. And even dolphins, when they are about to give birth, they do this flowy movement. They're
Wow,
preparing inside,
beautiful.
you know.
Mm.
And so all these movement. And by the way, I want to mention, I'm going to be doing a series of classes, movement classes,
Mhm.
MoveWise. And there's going to be a lot of that, preparing, releasing, freeing up the stories in the hips, in the pelvis, in the spine, and also about opening the internal flute. So
Mhm.
all these classes are going to be in the YouTube channel that is called right now Joël Claret.
Mhm.
And it's a great preparation. It's great, great in many ways. So that's, yes. So welcoming the child. I'm so glad you made the decision to come. We are ready for you.
Mhm.
And the parents can renew their vows of love. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful. I mean, you can rewrite your vows.
For this moment in time. I love it.
Yes. And like I said before, the most important thing right now is honesty.
Mm.
Whatever that is, it is what it is.
Mhm.
And the most beautiful thing you can give is honesty.
Mm.
And he, the child spirit, at this point, he's God. He's one with God. And he, as God, decided to initiate this process. Okay, so that's the first signs. And then contractions are going to start happening. At the beginning, it's, comes and goes, it's not regular. And, but the process started.
Mhm.
There's no way back.
Yeah.
So this, we enter in a second phase. And I'm talking about spirit baby and mother because
Mhm.
they are going through the same experience.
Mhm.
So this second part with the contractions, Bernard Monteau talk about faith.
Mhm.
Faith for the mother is, and again, the conversation between the mother and the child
Mhm.
and the partner, his job is to
Mhm.
be a support.
Mhm.
He may be in the background, maybe yes, or maybe completely, but whatever he does is because that's what's supporting.
Mhm.
That's his responsibility to be a support. And it's so beautiful to see how that happens. So here, the child spirit goes from being God to being a giant.
Mhm.
And it's the moment where you connect with the element earth, the mother earth that is so powerful, so strong. I mean, you can think about the trees. I've been looking at trees growing around rocks and reaching out for soil, like, 3 meters down the rock, because that's where you go. And that, like, I'm really thinking about those trees when I talk about that perseverance, endurance. You're at the beginning of going through the canal of birth, and you don't know how for how long. And for the mother or the child, it's like, okay, here we go. And I am so strong. And it's not only being, it's that strength that is perseverance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Some people are very strong, but it has to be something, a moment, and then and then they cannot do it anymore. Here
Mhm.
is perseverance, endurance.
Yeah.
And so that's the commitment of faith.
Mm.
And it's beautiful when the mother um, says it out loud. She can express whatever poetic way or whatever, but have I completely and totally trust the process of life,
Mm.
for one.
Mm.
And I choose to be as powerful and strong as Mother Earth. You can find your own inspiration and your own ways. For me, always Mother Earth is my mother. She's an inspiration. She's my mother. I mean, when I go to give birth, I'm like her
Yeah.
giving birth. And so it's about faith.
Yeah.
It's about faith. And in that process, at that point, it's very important for the mother to be grounded.
Mm.
I have seen many times when the contractions are not effective is because there's no grounding. So go walking barefoot in the grass, walking barefoot on the feet, uh, putting some music that are more like drums or something, your feet on the ground, connect. I mean, there's many ways, everybody's different. Some people are more physical, some people are more like, if you are doing just meditation, you feel that cord in between your legs that go into the center of the earth and grounding you. Many times I've used, I always use acupressure
Mm.
in those moments in the feet, and
Mm.
that makes a huge, huge difference. The feet, also in the hands, but mostly in the feet. It's amazing how it makes a difference.
Mm.
And I remember once I had to call a neighbor who was an acupuncturist because this girl needed some serious grounding. And
Mm.
she came and she put some needles in the feet, like across the foot. And so different cultures,
Mhm.
because of the culture, some cultures are more grounded, more connected to the earth. Here in the US, I've seen a lot of that pattern with lack of grounding.
Mhm.
So we know, and even in preparation to birth, I mean, in before being pregnant, uh, think about your grounding.
Mhm.
Go earthing, connect with the planet, connect with nature, go in wild nature, barefoot,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, earthing, grounding, that is super important. And here too, the support of the partner becomes very important. And the strong partner also that is ready to do anything to carry you. Uh, May that be a man or a woman, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, sure. Yes, I can see the importance of having the partner as aware of course, going through these stages, participating in the memory during the initiation phase, and then phase two is the faith. Yes, and to express their own faith. I mean, you put it so beautifully that I completely and totally trust the process of life. Yes, powerful. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, partner to be mirroring that all along the way.
And you get a lot of energy from your partner.
Yeah.
It's and telling, and being connected with the child spirit, the baby coming, he's in the process, he needs also to be nurtured and supported. So you can say, okay, this is what's going on here, we are at this point in the process, so
Mhm.
all is well, let's keep going, we're doing fine, you're doing amazing, you're so strong, boo boo boo. you know, so you can nurture him.
Mhm.
He's very happy to get some energy, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's second phase, and then come the dilation,
Mhm.
and we are like deep in the process at this point, and the giant becomes a hero, says Bernard Monteau. And part of it, it's because at this point, I mean, there's no way back. It's been going on for a while. But at this point, there's like, you feel like you're being teared apart, like the mother is kind of being
Mhm.
teared apart. And the child can feel that he's like tearing her apart, like for the dilation.
Mhm.
And that's why he connects with the the idea of the hero, and
Mhm.
also the idea of sacrificing. I personally remember when I was at that stage in with my first birth, something happened, and felt, I felt like I was something could happen to me physically. It was a very intense birth, and we both our heart stopped. I mean, we left and came back. Um, and I didn't care. I was ready to you
Any,
anything.
yeah.
There's not, there's like, it's amazing the
Mhm.
place where we go. So yeah, there's like this moment is you're ready to sacrifice. I mean, I've heard of women having a C-section even if there was no anesthesia, and they didn't even care. They were like, just do it. They were
Yeah.
the ones screaming, do it, you know? So the feeling of you're ready to sacrifice. And that's an amazing and important part of being a mother also.
Yes.
Like you're
All right.
really, really there for your child.
Mhm.
And then comes the fourth part, which is the expulsion.
Awesome. Mhm.
And that's the most amazing. So the child sees the light. So
Mm.
there's two aspects of that. The expulsion is one is uh, it can happen or not happen, or you can leave it unconsciously or consciously or whatever. But when the expulsion is happening, the mother can have the experience of an orgasm. That
Mhm.
would be the natural way to go. That would be the normal way to go.
Mhm.
So first she has an orgasm, and then the baby's out, and when he's out, he gets that explosion of oxytocin.
Mm.
Explosion. And again, it's nature is so wise and, you know, in a way perfect, because that explosion of oxytocin is like, okay, first he's seen the light, he made it,
Yeah.
he or she, the being made it, and uh, and he is feeling that ecstasy.
Mm.
That ecstasy is connecting him that, oh, I'm in love with life.
Mm.
I love life on this planet. This feels so good. I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait to start my journey. You know, that's that part of you that is like, oh yeah.
Mhm.
And okay, so that I call it the fire, because
Mhm.
you go, I mean, even before, like when you're, yes, about to give birth, and boom, it happens. That is fire. It's, you're at this point, you're lost it, you're in chaos, you're like, you know.
Mhm.
And birth is an explosion, is the Big Bang.
Mhm. Yeah.
In a way, it's a Big Bang. And so that's the fire. And right there, I mean, let the child, support the child, let him first integrate that experience of ecstasy.
Right.
And then right there, and that's why Bernard Monteau says that he went from being a hero to being a wise man or wise woman. It's because and you can see it if you let the baby, if you're not like moving the baby around, but just let him be. If he's born in water, he's going to open the eyes underwater.
Yeah.
And what he's doing, he's looking at everybody
Mm.
and everything. And he sees with the real eyes.
Yes.
So he knows. He's like, okay. When you see somebody, therapy is called I read you. They know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, where you are at, what your level of consciousness, everything. He sees.
Yeah.
He sees, he feels, and so he gets an idea of where he landed and what's going on, right? So that's
The wise one.
that phase. It's like I call it the void, because that's a phase where I really suggest and recommend that, respect that moment, silence, just presence.
Yeah.
Just presence, supportive presence. And then you can start like, expressing yourself with words. I mean, crying, people laugh and cry and just let him know, we have an idea. We're not there maybe, but we have an idea where you are at, what you are experiencing. We absolutely welcome you. Thank you for being here. And we love you the best way we know about love. And you are so welcome. You are so, so welcome.
I love it.
So that's kind of, and then you're going to have the part where, you clean the baby, and here again, the baby comes with a cover, a layer of mucosity. Give him time to absorb whatever he's going to absorb. The baby is going to absorb, because that's going to make a big difference. Big difference.
Right.
And also they may want, babies, sometimes you put the baby on the belly and the baby's crawling up to get breast, to the breast by itself. Newborn baby, how do they know? They just have the strength. They've been working out a lot, from inside. They have powerful legs, I tell you. They can crawl up and grab the breast. So this time is sacred. This time is sacred. There's a connection from outside with the mother. Also breastfeeding, and I want to talk about this longer in another video. Breastfeeding is full of hormones, and what it does, it takes the baby back to the spirit dimension. So when the baby is breastfeeding, and I'm going to say that a lot, nobody's talking. Silence, because he's been going through a whole journey. He made it. Okay, here's your breast, and you deserve also to have a break, go back to spirit, and fall asleep and rest. So if there's no urgency to do things to the baby, the mother can gently clean the baby while it's going to be like a massage on top of it for him while he's breastfeeding. but respecting that process.
Yeah.
Because when the baby's breastfeeding, you see his eyes are going up towards the third eye.
Mm.
And if the mother is talking or if there's noise around, it's like interrupting a meditation.
Yeah.
He starts going, when you see that, when a baby cannot breastfeed, and it's because he's been having that experience. So it's very, very important to spread that message out there. The other day I was eating at a restaurant and there was a beautiful couple with a beautiful baby girl. And she wanted to breastfeed, and the mother was sitting there with the friends for lunch, and she was wanting to breastfeed as she was talking to their friends and having a good time. And the baby girl couldn't do it. She went like in and out and in and out and all over the place. And the mother had no idea. And the baby ended up falling asleep without breastfeeding.
Oh.
You know? But that's the kind of information I want to put out there. Please remember, please, let's know about this. Let's
Yeah.
be aware about these
Yeah.
things.
I love the analogy. It would be as if you're walking in on someone who's meditating and starting to chatter to them. And so, if we can, like you said, just make them aware that this is what it's tantamount to,
Yes.
they'll think twice. They'll know that it's important to go away and have that quiet time.
Even for us that we're going into meditation, I don't know I'm not going into the meditation and going straight into the light. I'm not that advanced.
Neither am I.
Just to sit down in silence and maybe focus on my breath and, calm down the mind is not a big thing. But if somebody comes and interrupts, it's like, no, unpleasant. So for them, every time they breastfeed, it's an opportunity to go back. And in respecting that, you are giving your child the chance to stay connected to spirit, another chance to stay connected to spirit.
I love it. I love it. I have two questions. One, I would love for you to speak more. I know you and I have talked before, and you helped me understand better this idea in phase 3, where the baby is the giant becomes a hero. Can you say a bit more about why Bernard Montauk calls it that?
Yeah, he says that the baby, the child, whatever, the being needs comes into this idea of being a hero, because if you read the stories of mythology, the hero is killing the dragon, is going through some kind of sacrificing something. And here the child feels like he needs to maybe kill the dragon of like tearing apart, opening those doors, those gigantic doors to come into life.
Yeah. And that I think you also shared that it's the sacrifice is knowing the sacrifice on the part of mother and child is the willingness to tear it open in order to,
His own mother.
yeah.
Yes.
And that,
It's a
and
very interesting
understanding,
psychology.
yeah. But what a beautiful reframe, and also I don't think I've ever in my entire life thought about the perspective of the being faced with, there's my passageway. I mean, that's what I have to go through. Sorry, I don't know what the exact size is, but
yeah,
I would feel, relatively speaking, if I were faced with a tunnel that was relatively,
I don't know where the end, I don't see the end of it.
I mean, talk about a walk of faith or a journey of faith or being
initiation, process of initiation.
all of it.
Get that with the birth, and And depending on our experience with birth, that's going to reflect somehow.
Mhm.
So yeah, we can talk in another video about, okay, I gave birth, but it was not exactly like that. What can I do to
Yeah.
help my child? Or
Yeah.
what can I do to heal my own trauma? Because we're going to talk about pregnancy and conception, and how part of the process is to heal our own birth memories and
Mhm.
our own sexual traumas. That's a big part, and
Mhm.
things like that. So
Beautiful.
yeah, more to come. And if you have comments and questions, you can put them down under the video. It's going to be on YouTube. So that can be, we can talk about themes. If you're interested in something in particular, we can make videos about anything I can help with, or any
Mm.
information I have. I'll be happy to share.
Beautiful. Well, as I listen to you share everything, it makes me want to have another baby and do it all over again.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for all those out there who are listening to this, who will be listening to this, who get to benefit from this before they bring their being to the world. And so happy to also hear that you will be addressing, so what do we do if we're on the other side of all of this? To some extent, we all are, because I don't know how many of us, the grown-ups, got to come into the world with this consciousness.
Yeah.
So there's that to deal with, as well as for our own precious
Yes. Yes.
children.
I've had a few adults saying, okay, what about us?
Yeah,
What do we do with our first trauma and all of that? So yes, I'll be happy to share whatever, and eventually invite people that are amazing in working with trauma, birth trauma.
I don't think you'll be running out of things to share anytime soon.
Yes, yes, yes. And I wish, yes, I wish I had known all of this before having my first child.
Mm.
And I forgive myself for not knowing.
We must. We did the, well, it's the honesty, isn't it? We really, our love is imperfect, and at each moment all along the way, I trust we all were doing the best we could with what
Yeah,
we had.
with the best intention,
Yes, for sure.
best intention. I'm glad to be doing this now, because yesterday was my first son's birthday.
Ah, beautiful.
I'd like to
Honor.
celebrate that.
Yeah.
Thanks to him and our experience, I
Yeah.
got involved in all of this. So
Oh, well,
he's
happy,
been my
happy
teacher.
birthday to him, and many blessings on you.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Wonderful. Thank
Yes.
you, Joelle.
Thank you,
Sharon.
Amy. Thank you, Amy, for these conversations. Like I want to call them sacred conversations. And thank you for being such an inspiration and such a
Mm.
support for
Of
this to be
course, you're
happening.
welcome. I truly am. I'm honored to be in conversation with you, in a sacred conversation. Love it.
See you next time.
Time, ciao. Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.